This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Hello everyone, thank you again for supporting the Final Fantasy Lorecast. Here is our awesome Steven and Trey talking about Final Fantasy IX in our bonus episode number 2. I hope you enjoy, and again, thank you for the support.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to the Final Fantasy Lorecast, a podcast dedicated to the history and lore of the Final Fantasy series. Join us as we take a deep dive into the different worlds, characters, and so much more.
Welcome, everyone, to the second special episode of the Final Fantasy IX. I don't know, what are we calling this? Deep dive?
Deep dive. Yeah.
All right, the second episode of the Final Fantasy IX Deep Dive. I'm your host for tonight, Trey, with my co-host, Steven, who you have already heard tonight. If you're listening to this and you haven't heard the first one yet, go back and find it. It's on the feed already for everyone. And if you're listening to this now, thank you so much for listening to these bonus episodes. I know I really enjoy them, and I think Steven also enjoys the walk back through Final Fantasy IX.
I always enjoy talking about 9. I always need more time to talk about it.
Well, tonight we're going to talk about the Evil Forest, and I don't know about you, but for me, it's one of my favorite parts of not just Final Fantasy IX, but like the entire Final Fantasy series. I really enjoy a lot of the character building they do. I think a lot of that's really interesting. I like how they introduce the ATEs. I just like the storytelling they do. A lot of it's really good, and I mean, it might just be that nostalgia thing where it just hits so close to my heart, but I really have a soft spot for the Evil Forest.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't enjoy the forest itself, but everything that happens on the ship is like top tier Final Fantasy. It's everything Final Fantasy should be. Just the interactions you have between the characters is just beautiful.
Yeah, I have a little over a page worth of notes, and I have maybe 3 lines of stuff that happens in the forest itself.
Yeah, it's fine.
So where we left off last time was they introduce you to the ATEs, VVCs, the monster, and now we have control of Zidane. He's going to go looking for Garnet and Vivi. You find Vivi cowering, telling us that it has her. Steiner's there trying to get her back with diplomacy. So you run through the forest with Zidane. You're looking for Garnet and Vivi. You find Vivi. He's cowering, scared, and he tells you that it has her. Steiner's there trying to get her back with diplomacy, and Zidane just jumps right in to fight. That's like it's your first little boss fight. It's the tutorial for their limit break system, which is the trance, and we get to watch Zidane go Super Saiyan because he is so heartbroken about his damsel in distress.
Yes, the one he's known for all of 2 seconds, basically.
Hey man, when you know, you know.
That's true.
But it runs off, and then Vivi and Steiner, they're like beating themselves up about it. And Zidane, being the leader, gets them focused, and they're like, look, it's probably went back to its lair. We got to go deal with this. So as he's talking, Vivi also gets snatched up, and you have to fight him out to get him out, which is another one of the things I really enjoyed, the boss mechanic of having him snatch up your character. So Vivi gets snatched up, and you just got to fight him to get him out of there.
That's where you start learning about where magic is effective. So like that's when Steiner tells Vivi, like, hey, use fire on this because it's a plant basically that it's a giant plant that attacks and snatches him up. So he's like, just blast it with fire while you're inside and it'll let you out. And sure enough, it's very effective and you end up beating him. But that's when you get released. Well, you can explain it.
Oh, I mean, no, go ahead.
So you beat the boss, you get released, or it releases Vivi, and then you basically, another one comes down to attack, and Zidane flips out of the way as he does because he's very acrobatic. And Zidane and Vivi and Steiner are just sitting there with their heavy feet, and they get blasted by the spores. So they get infected, basically. It's like they swallowed the watermelon seeds when you were a kid. They tell you swallow the watermelon seeds, it's going to grow in your belly and burst out. With basically
yeah. That is basically what is going to happen until our boy Blank shows up. And after Zidane gets them back to the ship, Blank is there with the medicine to fix Vivi and Steiner. I really enjoyed the little comedy scene with Beniro and Zaniro struggling to get Steiner both first into the room and then to get him to take the medicine himself. Just, again, one of those little scenes, it takes like 20 seconds of your time, but just something I really enjoyed, especially on a secondary playthrough.
He's like, it's definitely poison. They're giving me poison. Why would they help me out? That's pretty great. He's like, well, I'll take it anyway. And just
I think he finds the doll of Garnett, and he's looking at it, and he's like, I have to save her. I'll drink the poison.
That's true, yeah. The Garnett doll. That's one of my favorite ATEs later. I think it's right before you leave the forest with Cinna, and he's freaking out like, where's my doll? Where's my doll? And he's looking for the Garnett doll. That's the ATEs in this area are just beautiful. They're so great.
Yeah, I think he needs it to sleep at night is what it is. But yeah, so I love the scene with Beniro and Zaniro. I made it a point to put that in there. So at this point, Steiner and Vivi are healing up from the spore attack, from the Ochu looking thing. And we all know Zidane is getting ready to go after the girl, including Baku, Blank, Market. Everybody knows what Zidane's about. So Baku tells Zidane he's going to have to leave the band if he goes off the ship after her. It seems kind of simple or whatever, but when you think about it, like, Zidane was an orphan. He's abandoning the person who took him in and the only family he's ever known. And he's just ready to drop this at the drop of a hat, like you said earlier, for this girl he just met. And I know she's a princess and I know she's really pretty, but it seems like a big thing for Zidane to do. And he's just like, yep, got to do it. It's the right thing to do.
It's 100% his character. They're really introducing this to you pretty quickly here in the game, that he's basically, circumstances be damned, he's gonna go do the right thing and help people out. It's basically all he cares about is helping people out.
Yeah, and I really like how they use the ship part, and I like how they set that up, and they show, and we'll talk about it a little more later, how Zidane is just kind of the natural leader for the whole group, and how his personality style is kind of what leads to his leadership style. And I think they do a really good job of being true to the personalities of not just Zidane, but all of the characters. I think they all feel like real people telling a real story, just, with magic.
Yeah, magical creatures and princesses and things like that.
Oh, I was wrong. I'm looking at the notes. So we get 2 more ATEs. One of them is the Senna outside looking for the doll, but the one before that, Steiner pretends there's a fire trying to get them to let him out of the room so he can go rescue Garnett. And when he realizes they won't let him out, he sits down defeated, and that's when he finds the doll. And then you get another ATE with Senna looking for the doll outside the ship.
That's right. I love that scene. He basically is like, it's an idiot. It's one of my favorite running jokes throughout the game, is people just quietly mocking Steiner, being like, this guy is a jabroni. He just doesn't realize it. He's just so self-serious all the time. He is honestly so underrated as a Final Fantasy character because he's such a goof, but he brings like such a good balance to the game because he's kind of like oh, what's his name? Like the guy from Naked Gun, you know those movies?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Leslie
Leslie.
Nelson.
Yeah. So he's like it's like he's playing the straight man like super serious, but everything he does is
Is
hilarious and
right.
dumb.
Everything is comedy related. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Steiner, I think the more I'm going back through this and really doing the deep dive, the more I just appreciate all the little Steiner moments because he is just
Incredible.
he's the perfect complementary character for Zidane. He's the great support character for Garnett. He's a great support character for Vivi also, which we'll get into here in a minute. Here
Yeah.
very soon, actually. But yeah, I agree with you 100% on your Steiner love. He is highly underrated. All right, so where was I? Oh, all right. So Zidane has decided he's leaving the gang. He's going to go get the girl, and he's got to have his boys to go have his back. He goes and gets Vivi. He goes and checks on him really, and tells him he's got powers for a little guy. And the dialogue shows that Vivi takes that little guy part to heart, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did all right." And Zidane, being the leader and knowing people and being that positive kind of influence, immediately flips the switch and starts pumping him up. And to me, seeing this, this is like the exact opposite of what Cloud or Squall would have done in this situation. It's just another, and I hate to compare it, but these were all three kind of released 1 year after another. And it was another perfect example of Zidane just being such a breath of fresh air.
True. They is again, yeah, we touched on it a lot in the last one, but yeah, he's basically like the anti-Cloud and Squall. He's very uplifting to his for the most part. Like he does obviously mess with Steiner, but mostly he's there to pump people up. You're right.
Yeah, so he tells Vivi that maybe it's fate that brought them together to try and that last little boost to get him to get up off his butt and to come help him save Garnett. And as Zidane is going to get Steiner, I think that's when he runs into Blank, and Blank goes, "Why do you always got to play the hero?" to Zidane,
Mm-hmm.
which, given what happens later, I really enjoyed this little line of dialogue popping up because it's just quick, it's simple, but if you know what happens, it means a lot more, I think.
A little foreshadowing for about 5 minutes later in the game. Yeah.
Right, because not only does Zidane, like when that scene starts, it's the chase, the big chase scene. Zidane jumps in front, like he's the one who, or he has everybody go out in front. He's the one that wants to be the hero, but
Yeah.
at the end, it's Blank who jumps in, takes the bullet, and I just it sets it up so nicely. And I know Sin is your guy, but I love Blank. I love Blank so much, and he's such a great character. So Zidane goes and beats Baku to get out of the gang. And then I think it's right after that is when he realizes he was pulling his punches, and we get our first Rusty, which is a
Yeah,
monumental moment for the Final Fantasy IX fans.
it is. Absolutely. Gotta love Rusty. Yeah, he does even say that he was like, oh, I think he was pulling his punches till that last one. I do love that line.
Yeah, there's like a scene and it shows Baku like punch him in the stomach.
Yeah.
Vivi, you get Steiner, you go to get Vivi, and Vivi's like, "Oh, good luck, guys, have a good time." And both Steiner, Zidane, and Steiner pump him up, and Steiner's like, "Hey, I got this idea," and I don't know if they tell you right then or if they just
No, they
tease
don't.
it.
Yeah, they just tease. It's
But
like
you know
dot dot
something's
dot.
coming.
Yeah, it says dot dot dot, like whispered in parentheses, magic sword. And you're like, oh,
Okay.
okay, all right. It doesn't go into it until you go to the battle with
Okay.
I think it's with the boss where you get to first do that. I forget.
I'm pretty sure you're right. But I love that also about the game. I like how they have the abilities with the other characters that interact and that matter. And as far as I can remember, this was the first time I remember having something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about 8, but I know definitely not in 7 until the remake. But yeah, this is the first time where you could actually like team up with another character's abilities. And I I don't think you did it in 10. I don't think you no, you definitely didn't do it in 12. I don't think you did it again until 15, where you
I don't
kind of like,
remember if you do it in 13 or not, but
yeah, I can't help out with that. But I mean,
yeah, I thought
this is the only time you can do that, even in this game. Like you can't do that with any other character, to my knowledge.
no, I don't think you can. But to me, it just shows it for me. It's meant to the core four are Zidane, Steiner, Vivi, and Garnett. That's the four that they mean for you to play the game with, at least the first go around.
It's
And
always my finishing party.
yep, mine too. And it adds a little something. I always felt like, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But I didn't mean to get too off topic on the gameplay side of things. I know we're mostly talking story here, but that's one
Okay.
story. I talk about it in the story, and it's a gameplay mechanic I really, really like.
Listen, it's a deep dive. We're diving deep. We can talk about whatever we want. Doesn't have to necessarily just be the story.
Well, one of the things of the story I liked. So we get kicked out of the gang, we get Steiner, we get Vivi, we're leaving to go get Garnett. And your boy Senna's standing out there looking for his doll, but he's our first store. And I love he's like, I'm sorry, man, but I gotta charge you.
I was gonna bring this up. Yeah, like what a dick. We're
I mean,
not even
he
out
says
5 minutes.
sorry.
He does say sorry, but I'm like, hey man, you can't help me out this one time. About to go into this crazy forest, maybe give me some stuff, but I'll let it go.
I mean, to be fair, they did just have a ship crash. They have probably limited supplies. I know at the beginning, Baku was like, we got to save the stuff if we're going to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, when you first, it's like they're pulling people out of the fire when you first see it. So it's like, yeah, maybe they need the potions. But
Yeah, they thought that they smashed Garnett and they were just going to hang.
yeah, that's a good part. We didn't even mention. Yeah, like first we kidnap her, now we smash her or smush her, whatever they say. It's hilarious.
Okay, have you read my two little notes about the next ATEs we get?
Yeah, no, it's
Okay, well then I'm not gonna ask you, but I didn't realize I didn't remember the Final Fantasy VII music popping up in Final
it
Fantasy IX.
didn't even occur to me until I saw it on like a Reddit thread that was like all the different references in Final Fantasy games, and like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy 9 has a 7 reference with the Junon music. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right, it does actually.
I did not see the Reddit post, but as I've been watching the gameplay back through on a YouTube video, and when it
Mhm.
popped up, it took me I had to watch it back I think 3 times before it finally clicked what the music was from. But great little Easter egg, and I love Baku just looking at it and be like, not bad.
Yeah, he has a good little nod. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
9 is chocked full of them.
yeah,
Uh,
but that one was one I can't. Hopefully young me noticed it, and I just so much time has passed I just forgot about it. But great nod either way. Then you see Baku send Blank off with a map, and you can piece it together that it's probably to go help Zidane out.
yeah, they're good at saying things without saying things in this game. They don't have
Yeah.
to hit you over the head with it.
um okay, so you buy your stuff from Senna because he's too cheap to give it to you for free, upsetting Steven, but it's all right. Then you go to find Garnett, and there's this really cool sequence where you're running, and it zooms out from the gameplay into an F like one of the what do they call it? Full.
FMVs, yeah.
Yeah, an
Full motion
FMV.
videos, something like that.
That's it. Full motion video. Fantastic. Um, and I really enjoyed how they managed to pull this off for the PS1 game. I know in today's world it would be something simple, but just playing it and watching it, the way they were able to pull off the transition, I really, really thought was ahead of its time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The swamp part, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It looks like, well, I guess it's mist, not a swamp, but it's basically like you see red eyes light up in the background, and there's like mist. It's like, oh, we're going to a spooky ass forest. Just
Yeah, it does
basically
a
letting you know what you're in for.
yeah, it does a great job of setting the table and letting you know that you're getting ready to get in some shit.
Mm-hmm. But you're really not. It's not a hard part of the game. You're just beating up wolves.
So you get to Garnett, and there's a moment that Steiner tries to stop Zidane from helping save her for the pride of the country. Can you imagine if Zidane would have been like, "You're right, buddy," and just turned around and left?
This is one of those dumb moments for Steiner. Not a top tier moment for him.
No, definitely not. But it's okay because our boy Blank shows up once again to save the day. Pretty sure he comes in the middle of the
The boss
in the
fight.
middle of the boss fight and jumps in to save the day. Once
Yeah.
you finish the fight, it's the big chase.
Yeah, which is all inept. Well, no, part of it I guess is played, but it's like just fight the things. They're good experience. You'll get more AP, you'll get more experience, fight the things. They're not hard. They're like these little rose bugs. They're crazy. It's like a cross between a rose and a bug, and they look like almost Starship Trooper bugs.
Yeah, they the little crawly guys.
Yeah, because after you fight the boss, you get Garnet, and then as soon as you beat the boss, the entire forest starts to petrify itself. It's like gradually going crazy. And then all the monsters come out and start chasing you while the forest is basically closing in on you and about to petrify everybody. And you have to go on this wild chase out of the forest, try and find your way out of the forest, basically, and with Blank leading the way.
Yeah, I wrote you after the boss fight, the crew, and there's nothing. It's like there's just no sound, and then you have the rumble, and you get the wave of the little guys crawling out of that hole as everything starts to petrify behind it, like you said, and then the chase is on. We mentioned it already earlier that Blank Zidane's like, take care of everybody, Blank, as the chase happens. And then at the very end, Blank bumps shoulder checks Zidane out of the way and throws the map ahead. Great throw and catch by Blank and Zidane, by the way. Probably couldn't do that another time if they tried.
It like bounces and rolls and just he catches it on the scoop. It's pretty slick. Pretty
Right,
cool
as it's bouncing and rolling, he just scoops it right up. It'd be like if in the relay, if they dropped the baton on the handoff and it was bouncing along the track and you just scooped it as you kept running.
Yeah. But imagine that baton was made out of very thin, flimsy paper. So it's like, oh, the physics don't add up here, but I'll give it to you since this is a game full of magic. I'm not going to fight you too hard on that part.
No, I'm sure it was enchanted with some special don't break or something. But you get out of the thing and it's over. You're at the wall, everything's petrified, and Steiner is laying into Zidane once again, the same way he has been the whole time. And Zidane is so bummed he just lets Steiner lay into him. And that's when you know that he's really, really upset about what happened.
Yeah, I mean, his buddy got caught. It was a really cool pose to get caught in. He's like up in the air and he's caught in between two pinchers of the bugs, and that's when everything petrifies. It's a cool way to get petrified, I guess, if you're gonna have that happen.
Do
Yeah.
you think if instead of getting petrified cool like that, if he'd gotten petrified with like his mouth open and his eyes kind of crossed, just looking ridiculous. Do you think people would love him as much as we do, or would we look at him and laugh?
I think we'd look at him and laugh, like the Pompeii guy who got caught. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. I won't say more because we're not that explicit of a podcast, but yeah, there's the volcano in Pompeii that blew up. A guy got caught
Yeah.
doing some unsavory acts and is immortalized in history for that.
but I feel like part of Blank's mystique is everything about him is cool.
Yeah,
Did you
he's
watch?
got the visor on him. You can't even see his eyes. He's mysterious and cool guy. That's why I like Cena better. Cena, whatever you want to call him.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
I did. I watched it.
It reminds me, Blank reminds me of the episode where they're trying to get Barney Stinson to take a bad picture, and he just will not take a bad picture. That's Blank. It doesn't matter what situation you put him into, he's gonna look cool.
It's always cool, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess if that's your thing, then I guess Blank is cool. And listen, I like Blank, but the whole cool guy act just doesn't do it for me.
Steven likes the big softies like Cinna who need a little cuddly doll to sleep with. I get it. I understand.
Listen, he and I share a love for coffee. We prioritize coffee. We need it. And little like we bring the humor to the situations. I get it. I feel him more than I feel Blank. I'm not a mysterious cool guy.
Oh, I mean, I was when this game came out because I was like 13 at the time, so Blank was the coolest. But now I definitely have more of an appreciation for Senna and Marcus and the rest. So they get out of the forest. Now they got to go make camp. Steiner's trying to leave. He's got to get back to the castle. He's got to get Garnett back to the princess and all this. Him and Zidane going back and forth again. And Zidane, again, being the leader, again, using his brain, is like, Steiner, what's your duty? What are you supposed to do? And Steiner's like, well, I have to keep her safe. And Zidane's like, well, look at her. What will keep her safe? It's like, oh, I guess she needs to rest then. And it works perfectly. And the scene ends with Zidane, Vivi, and Garnett all like looking at the stars and just soaking in the atmosphere, and Steiner just standing guard, taking everything 100% serious.
Yeah, it reminds me of the intro to 10, where you have everybody like sitting around a peaceful campfire, and there's like Titus is looking out into the distance, you know, not necessarily the bodyguard, and not at all actually, but yeah, kind of reminded me of that. It's kind of like a one last peaceful moment before you're really getting into the shit. Like it's about to go down after this, so get ready.
It's a great comparison. I really like that. So yeah, the last thing we're gonna hit is, so the next, they wake up the next day. Garnett's struggling with it, with Blank specifically. She's really upset about Blank sacrificing himself for her. She's really upset about other people getting caught in the crossfire. And Zidane assures her specifically about Blank that they'll come back and save him. Which thankfully, I'm pretty sure if you watch enough of the side content, it turns out that way.
Yeah. I mean,
or is that's not in an AT? Is that just in the end of the game? I don't remember where that's at.
Shows back up. I mean,
Does Blank?
Yeah, he's definitely back later in the game, because when I mean, obviously, if you're listening to this, you probably already played 9, so major spoilers. But when Alexandria gets attacked and Blank, because Blank is there, I forget the specific moment he comes back. I think it's to help out. I got it. When you're going through the tunnels underground in the castle, and Zorn and Thorn catch you. They catch you for the second time, and you're like, damn it, we fell for it again. And then Blank and I want to say Marcus come in and like,
yeah, it's Marcus. It's Blank and Marcus.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're back. awesome. Because you had to do all the stuff at the theater with Ruby and all that. You do that stuff with Blank. So yeah, he's
Do
definitely
you get
back.
the? But do you get the scene of him coming? Do you ever get a scene of him coming back?
Like them using the
Like
potions.
go, yeah, like I feel like there was like a scene, an ATE scene or something of them talking about going to get him, or I feel like
Well,
there's
yeah,
something in my head I'm just missing. Like it's just like
there
a
is
something there.
there is an ATE. That's why I mentioned Senna and the coffee because it shows them at Northgate. I want to say it is because you can go to that point later in the game. There's just nothing to do there except pick up a hidden collectible. But basically, they're there like complaining, saying they're tired, and Baku's like, "We got to go save our bro." And Senna's busy trying to make coffee, and it was one of me and my friend's favorite scenes. Actually, is Baku's like, "Do I have to remind you what happens to members or basically people who don't listen in Tantalus?" And he's like, "Oh, please, not that." And he takes off and goes to do what he was told. It's a great scene. I forget at what point in the game that happens, but it's a good one. So yeah, you do see them on their way to going to save him. You just don't see it actually happening. So it's that way
Yeah,
it's a surprise when they come in and knock out Zorn and Thorn.
good old Zorn and Thorn. We don't see them pop up, but they'll be back soon. They'll be back really soon.
Zorn and Thorn?
Yes.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
So what's up next then?
Ice Cavern is up next.
Ice Cavern. Yeah, we have Ice Cavern and then Dolly.
Yeah.
I think you get through Ice Cavern and then Dolly.
I believe that's correct.
But all right, sir, that's the Evil Forest. Appreciate you coming on. Sorry that your dinner was late and you got a little delayed.
It's fine. I got my whiskey. I'm good to go. Doing a whole nother 30 minutes.
Well, our meeting's going to end in like 5, so I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap here. And I don't have my notes for the Ice Cavern. Not
It's
that a
fine.
lot happens in that one,
Yeah, it's
but
pretty quick.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
definitely
probably
be
have to.
playing. We'll be playing past Ice Cavern for the next one. So be ready for that. It's going to be a
Yeah,
quick
well,
stop in the Ice Cavern and then a whole lot happening in Dolly. So probably be a longer episode next week.
next
month.
month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we'll probably just do the Ice Cavern and all of Dolly. I didn't want to add the Ice Cavern onto this. I don't know why. I always think of the Evil Forest as its own thing, and then the store like the Ice Cavern. I know the Ice Cavern's its own thing, but I just kind of loop it in with Dolly.
There's a lot that gets introduced in the Evil Forest in the ship part, but it's pretty easy to summarize. It's basically like you're learning who the characters are, learning what their motivations are. It's like Steiner, it's really hammering home that he's there for the princess. Like he's just there to keep her safe. Dane just wants to help everybody out. He wants to help out the pretty girl. And Vivi, he's scared of his powers and he's having to be pushed into who he like becoming confident in who he is.
Right, he's a kid looking for guidance.
Yeah. It's weird that he's a kid because he's got a pretty short. Anyway, we'll talk about that at another point.
And in my head, I loop Ice Cavern in with Dolly because it's all of like the Black Mage and the waltzes and all that. I think that's why I group those together and why I think it'll be better for us in terms of the deep dive to be able to just talk about the waltzes all together, Dolly, and it'll all come together.
Yeah, well, we'll get through one waltz. That's all we'll get.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But all right, that's for next month. Patrons, I hope you guys enjoy this coming out at the beginning of August. Non-Patreons, I hope you guys enjoy this coming out at the beginning of September. And if the remake has already been announced, we didn't know about it yet, but cheers.
I
as
won't talk
Steven
about it after
groans.
that. I refuse to speak about it.
Until it's good, then he'll talk about it. All right. You got anything else before we get out of here?
That's it.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Final Fantasy Lorecast. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can find us on Twitter at FFLorecast, and you can email us at fflorecast@gmail.com.